Okay, so I'm going to do a very quick tutorial for you guys just to show you how to proceed with the magazine spread design that we're working on. So at this stage you would have done some quick sketches showing some possible layouts that you might like to use, and one of the criteria is that you use portraits of a person from Michael's project he's already set for you, that you were to take portrait photographs of a person, that anybody really. So I kind of went through some of my photographs to try find some portraits that I'd taken recently. So these are some portraits from a trip to Korea. Some were just gone, and they were sort of the highest quality ones I could find. So what you need to do is, first of all, this is going into a magazine spread. So these need to be printed. Okay, so a magazine, it's a printed magazine, it's not an e-publication or an online publication. So the first thing that we have to do is check the resolution of this, whether the quality of this photograph that I've taken is going to work for print. So if you go up to image and image size, okay, so at the moment it's physically very big. It's 166, nearly 167 centimeters by almost 94 centimeters. But if you look at the resolution, it's 72 pixels per inch. That's the resolution for if you're showing something on screen. For print, the pixels per inch, or some people say dots per inch, should be 300. Okay, so to check at 300 pixels per inch what size I can print this photograph at, first of all, down here where it says resample image, turn that off. And all of these will turn off automatically. If I put the figure 300 in here, so this photograph will print out at 40 centimeters wide by 22 centimeters high. Now I know our magazine spread, one page is 23.7 centimeters by 29.7 centimeters. So that's not too bad. Could do have been a little bit higher, but I think we'd be okay. If we scaled it up to 29.7, I think we'd be all right with this. So I'm going to click OK. Now it looks like it hasn't changed, which technically it hasn't, but we've changed the resolution to 300. Now I know it's a little bit too small for my page, which is not ideal, but I think we're going to be all right. The next thing is image mode. So at the moment, you can see here RGB is ticked on. If you're going to print for a magazine or any kind of document, it should be CMYK. Okay. Now it's saying you're about to convert to CMYK, and we just click OK. Another thing you could do is, if I want, now I like this photo as is, I put a little bit of a filter on this on my phone. I took these photographs on my phone, that's why the quality isn't brilliant, but I mean it's okay. I put a kind of a filter on them, which sort of suited, the tone of these photographs. If I wanted this to be black and white, I can go image, adjustments. Oh, actually, sorry, we'll go back to our mode and we'll put it back to RGB the way it was. Okay, so if I wanted it black and white, I can go image, adjustments, and there's an option here, black and white, and this little palette will come up. Now you can play about with, let me just move this over, you can play about with these, but in general, the default settings tend to work okay. There's kind of, you can mess about here where it ups the blue, or if you wanted it really contrasty, and I guess just you can mess around with these if you wanted to. I'm going to put it back to default. Actually, the yellow one isn't that bad. It makes the very contrasty looking, and you can kind of click this preview button on and off. Just click OK. Now it's still RGB. At that point you have to go image mode CMYK and change it to CMYK. I might undo that. If I want to undo something in Photoshop, if I just hit Command and Z or Edit, Undo. Okay, so I can keep going, Edit, step backwards, and that will kind of undo a few steps. So we're back to this now. You can look up there, it's still RGB. I'm going to go Image, Mode, CMYK. So there's two options. If you want to change to black and white, or you want to leave it as color, it needs to be CMYK. Okay. Okay, so the next thing is then save it. If you're going to bring something into InDesign, it needs to be saved as a TIFF. Okay, so File, Save As. Now I haven't made a folder for any of this to go into. Let's go in here. I'm going to go Documents. I'm going to go... Okay, Collage Doodle Design Work. Let's make a new folder. And we'll call this... now this lady was a monk. Korea Monk Mag Spread. Okay. And then within that, I'm going to make another folder called Images. Okay, you need to be very, very organized when you're working in InDesign. So instead of a JPEG, we're going to save it as a TIFF. Ooh, not Photoshop Raw, a TIFF. And call it something, okay? And call it something logical. If for some reason, let's say you're doing a magazine spread and you're saving all different files. And this, I mean, a magazine could have hundreds, thousands even of images. And one might go missing when you send it to the printers. If the printer's ringing you up and they're saying, where's 2017070 blah, 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 or, you know, untitled.tiff or something like that, you might still be able to find it by putting those numbers in and searching on your Mac or your PC for them. But it would make it a lot easier if it was something like Monk Main Portrait, because then you'd know exactly, oh yeah, that was the article about the monk. Monk Main Portrait, TIFF. Okay, so save that. Okay, here you want image compression to be none. Just leave the pixel order as interleaved and the byte order Macintosh. Okay. And click OK. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to do the same. There was two other portraits. There was this one which I thought was nice. And there was this. Now, I guess it is a portrait. It was a tea ceremony that this monk did with us, and I thought that was a nice aerial shot. So I'm going to do very quickly. We go image size. Okay, resample image is turned off. Let's change it to 300. Again, I can bring that up to 40 by 22, so that's pretty good. Let's click OK. Image mode CMYK. I'm doing this one very quickly. And file, save as. Not a JPEG, we want a TIFF, and we want it in, where did I put it? Documents, Collage Doodle Design Work, what did I call it? Monk, JKLMN, Korea Monk, there it was, and Images. So let's call this T Aerial Shot. That's not how you spell aerial, isn't it? Okay. We got it none, interleaved, the first one, and Macintosh. Okay. I'll do the same quickly with this. So it's image size. Where are we? Down here. Make it 300, 22 by 40. They all seem to be the same. Click OK. Image mode, CMYK. Click OK. File. Save as. We call it Monk. Thinking. And we want it in Documents, we want it in Collage Doodle Design Work, we want it in Korea Monk Mag Spread and Images. And not a JPEG, we want a TIFF. Save. None, interleaved, Macintosh. Okay. And that is pretty much it. So the next tutorial will show you putting these photographs into InDesign.